Hello, yep, it's Fang again, and then we're gonna do another SAT passage, I guess. Um, yeah, so we're gonna start on English, and yeah, let's get started right now. Cool. Okay, let's go. So best describe the function of the underlined portion as a whole. So we're gonna look at the underlined portion, obviously, and how it relates back to the text. Okay, in response, fear the reason for breach, aggregate privacy, type of privacy, mobile application, website regulating, enforcing it. Oh, I don't think this is costing. Wait, no, it does have to do with cost. Fuck. Okay, crap. It might. Um. Argue such can be still be advantaged. Okay, so cool. For this one, I think um. Okay, for this one, I am thinking that since it's talking about the range of privacy present in the app notification, list of silence and changing. Identify the factor does not disregard the idea of privacy notification and completely, despite defining a limit for I guess argue that such measurement could still be advantageous. I think that's the key point. Um, let's see what it says here. So A is the best choice because it's underlined. Enforcing transparency due to concern about user overlooking privacy setting. According to text, notification habits are slightly temporarily. And the research argued that because the cost of the implication is minimum, the measure may be beneficial even. Okay, so okay, that makes sense. B is incorrect because the underline does not refer to particular. Okay, it does not talk about. Okay, obviously it does not talk about the privacy notification. I'm guessing this one also doesn't talk about privacy. It doesn't really support the privacy notification too for C. C is incorrect. Consideration. Both sides are small. No. I guess for C, uh, both have. It's not the effective. It's not relative to the cost. So, alright, because I gotta reread this one. Let me see. Why support privacy may be insignificant and irrelevant to the cost. Um, I think for this one, it's the cost. Um, no, I'll go back to this one later. But D points out the condition that admit that render privacy. I don't think it doesn't mention anything about influential. I think that aspect for D, right? Yeah, influential. I don't think. Okay, I understand B and D how these two probably cannot be correct, but for the part, okay, yeah. So what the hell was that noise? Actually, what the hell? Okay. Anyways, for C, I think for C consideration, explain why JJ can supportive privacy notification. Um, notification outline is cost. I think for this one, explain why to supported privacy. Insignificant relative. Okay, insignificant. Okay, insignificant relative cost. I think this one doesn't really cover the insignificant relative. I think it talked about the expensive, how I implement. I don't think it said. You know, I'll just go back to this one later. I should waste much time for. Okay, let's do text for text two response to text one. So text two is talking about this guy. Challenge Notion MA land with primarily do collapse. Okay, it's talking about the driver collapsing. Analyzing the sedimental layer, the team found that the most severe period of whatever happened in the deforestation, blah blah blah. It talked about the agricultural strategy worsened the drought, but it may migrate size naturals. Oh, a shift in climate. This one talked about blah blah blah. Okay, so it also talked about deforestation and the distribution rendered in habitation. Okay, so both of them are wait before. Okay, this one's before. Okay, before the Baxter one, and this one talked about the widespread. So I guess it is. I guess by claiming deforestation is activity, asserting research by claiming to. Okay, responding to text one, I think claiming was only one of many activity because this one's also notion about driver, and it also talked about the shift in climate change. Um, uh, yeah, they're not really this. Not really this. This one's A, okay, I guess. I guess it might have been this actually. Fuck. Okay, putting out given the time period of religion as fish relative to the forest clearing, land use practice likely did not drive the environmental collapse. Okay, I guess yeah, I guess I covered timeline more. Yeah, I screwed up on this part. Yeah, it doesn't talk about many. I was thinking about agricultural strategy. I guess. Yeah, it doesn't really add up. Crap. Next. Which of the first description? The whole social buffering occur in the presence of companion, reduce interval stress response during threat events, study of the mechanic, blah blah blah. Make a claim to challenge it. Okay, it's not challenge the text. It does give a phenomenon, I guess. These not introduce the problems. Is a hypothesis. Okay, fine. Fuck. I'll think about hypothesis just because it's a neurosurgeon, neuroscientist. I guess occur presence. I think occur makes more sense for a phenomenon. That's what the first sentence really illustrate. CYDs. Okay, yeah, that threw me off a little bit. I guess, yeah, it doesn't really talk about the hypothesis. It's more like a. Okay, yeah, so I'm 0 for 3. Great. That is not good. Oh crap, and they're followed by hard. Okay, cool. In the study of public transit, found that fare prices had mixed effect on rider numbers, primarily, possibly because of committing social number costs, but they're also but non-factor. Okay, yeah, big fancy word. Great. The transport decoupled antecedent sound like ants. I guess like yeah, meditated. I feel that sounds correct. I guess A is transpose. Transpose does not really suggest. Yeah, just talking about like how are not fully reducible of. It's talking about the economic costs and how they are not due because of this like service reliability. So I guess it's not by a non-factor. I guess it's not really to or from or with. I think that might be the way to say. I guess C is incorrect because this decoupled means separate and discontinue. Yeah, it's not talking about D. Okay, I'll look at for a question like this. I guess I'll look at the um, what's this called? The root word, or the yeah, I think they call it the root word. And antecedent sound like antidote sound like something like to like experience. That's what I think about it. But I guess okay, prior earlier. Okay, yeah, because antidote is your past experience, so that's where I found that from. So I don't think this is like past experience. It's more like yeah, decouples separating. That's not correct. It's more like yeah, I sound media sound the best, I guess. It sound like influence. Yeah, yeah, influenced by these structural service reliability. Oh, let's go next. Okay, let's see. This is another hard one. Oh, great. Okay. Both experience. What would they agree? Alright, cool. So let's do one by one, I guess. Man, a good cool citation. Fermented oil, methane. Okay, so they're both talking about peppermint oil. That's something. And methane. Uh, okay, so this one's replicating. This one's talking about how they find it. Okay. Uh, cool tend to vulnerability. P part in the 2013 experiment. So solution in 2012 are most likely to not have Esther. I am thinking. Okay. Shoot. Sweetness. Okay. 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 For this one, this one does not seem correct, and this one does not seem correct. I think the only reason why I picked this one, just because just because from the 2013 study, it talked about pure methane, and this will talk about crystallized. So I'm guessing that, and it talk ester. I don't think does it even mention ester. Okay, yeah, yeah. So yeah, what I'm thinking about is the type of material, I guess, and it talked about. I guess yeah, that makes sense. It was, it was kind of a gamble. I'm not even gonna lie. A is incorrect because it's not supported. That's obvious. B is incorrect. Yeah, it's not supportive. Um, okay, okay, none of them technically supported. Okay, okay, that it makes sense. It makes sense why. It makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go next. Okay, what's the main purpose of the text? Right now my time is pretty bad. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah. Okay, let's think. Okay, this look correct just because. Oh shoot! What the hell was that? Sound like a bomb outside, but I guess yeah. This one talked about this guy, but that sounds way too easy for some reason. It's talk about it's by these two, and it's talk about value. Investment deep in. Oh, yeah, I guess it's describe. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. 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 This tripped me up a little bit just because I said this, but when I saw the misjudgment, I guess it says it right here. Um, it talked about he going to a dinner party, right? And deep into the discussion, he enter discouraged with him. This is what really himself and him. I said there's two people in the passage, And there's nothing talking about remorse. There's nothing about this one can't be correct because I just found this right here, and it does not really show animosity towards each other. Really, it talks about like how he's odd and stuff, but it's not like yeah I don't like I really don't like I really dislike him or something like that. It's more like yeah, and then he just learned this guy was Mark Twain. So yeah, and let's see if I'm correct. It failed disdain, but it doesn't really talk about dislike or rivalry. Yeah, just talk about like how I saw him, and it's talking about oh well he's smart and stuff. He's like intellectual smart of a man, and yeah. Well, let's go next. Okay, for this one, yeah, I just saw. I probably shouldn't be doing this, looking at the difficulty because yeah, I probably shouldn't be looking at the difficulty, but yeah, I highlighted the nature part and I talk about like mimicking growth nature. I think that makes the most sense. Um, yeah, low key, I should be doing more of the medium hard one. Actually, let me just go back real quick and switch that up real quick. Cool. Let's go back and craft and structure. And cool. Yeah, let's challenge ourselves a little. Great, 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 great. Unable to condition. Oh, shoot, wait. Oh, great. Oh, great. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, let's go over this real quick. This is incorrect because they say they can survive. It's obviously they can survive it. This one also talk about how obviously they can survive it. This one talk about likely difficult catch because they tend to be smaller. When I read this one, I thought C was saying that you can find these arthropod somewhere else. I think this is incorrect. Um, because it's talking about how they're smaller, and that's I don't think the passage yeah the passage didn't mention that. So 1, 2, 3 does not support this one. This one supported because it said they are scarce, but you can find them, so they are able to endure it. But they're able to endure it, but most of them are not able to endure it. So yeah, I I really screwed up on that part. Um, okay, cool. Let's go next. Okay, yeah, let's do this real quick one. This one's a 5. Honestly, this one make the most sense because it talked about right here, experimentally a sudden shift. I think for question like this, I guess I will start reading this first, and then go straight back. Just go straight to the question, and then just read like this one talking about transition moments. I just went right here, quick. This one recount the personal life. Not really. It does not talk about his subsequent career. I guess it reflects it, but it doesn't like really go into depth. So that's incorrect. And then present evidence calls the question of characterization. That's incorrect. A just made the most sense to me. So yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go next. Great. Okay. Home seat. I don't see that anywhere. To be honest, demonstrate why. I don't. Yeah. I think. I think. It doesn't really talk about how it's unsuited. I guess. Uh, even if he acquired the land, this one talk about more like on the second sent on the question C. C is mostly his character. D does not really uh yeah, it does not really talk about his strength really. Feat of his expulsion might have not really obscure. I am not pretty sure about this. Describe the failed attempt established a homestead on the frontier. According to his agreement, he was received land in exchange for 6 months' labor, but he never fulfilled the contract. This is, yeah, this is hard. This one's hard. These, these are the type of questions I probably screw very badly up on. I guess his spirit. I guess just really talked about it. Yeah, and then talk about submission and resignation. Um, yeah, I will actually review that for myself later on. And okay, let's go next. Okay, this one I just I didn't even read the passage to be honest. This looked like a medium. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. I go straight to the underlying world. It's talking about resolving issue, and using thermal camera. So yeah, that's pretty much investigating. Everything else just doesn't make sense. I didn't really read the disputing the claim part. I just probably not a good idea. But for like question like this seemed very simple, straightforward. I guess I could probably rely on that if I need to. And then for a question like this, if I'm not like 100% sure, since I'm very bad in the context clue one, I'll probably review it. I'll probably mark it as review on the actual SAT and just go back to it real quick if I have time. But for a question like this, I'm pretty confident in. Okay, I thought about this one a little too long. Um, yeah, this incorrect. I was originally looking at B and I was like, oh, it hunts at night, but I was like, right here, it doesn't really talk about it. It's mostly talk about their wings. So A is wrong, B is wrong, C and D sound the best. I should have probably just click that and just went right away. But the only reason why I hesitate on C is because of the last two sentences. But let's see what the explanations say on D. Um, does not describe a behavior shared by two species mentioned. Uh, yeah, same characteristic. Uh, okay, yeah, I say it doesn't really talk about both of them because it talked about I guess for these last two sentences, this one talk about the hawk the hawk characteristic, and then it talked about the what made the hawks not silent. I guess not as silent. I guess so. This one's also off the hook. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, I think I thought a little too long on this one too, but basically, I chose C because it's questionable. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. I guess it is a good strategy. I guess because it's questionable because they're talking about like how they emphasize on carbon 13, and I just saw the carbon 13 right here and C4 right here. But in here it said it doesn't allocate for environmental condition that affect this like carbon fluctuation or whatever the hell this is, right? So I guess it's incomplete because it doesn't really because it's questionable, right? Because they're doing this research and they talked about like how oh they reported this and this, right, this study, and this one, oh look, they see this study too, right? But they argue that these study emphasize on this as like a carbon 13 supportive one, and they don't know how they got this like carbon isotope, I guess. Um, what is it? Yeah, they don't know where they got this from, so it's questionable. And you'll see right here, it talked about how yeah, this one talked about how they detected in text one, and they claim it support the C14, and this one talked about how carbon 13 is the actual thing that influenced the environmental and the extinction. Concluding questionable is not considered could be a result of other source than Mars 13. Carbon 13 level could result from sources other than modern. Yeah, because they didn't consider carbon 13. I guess. Um, did I explain that correctly? Let me think. Could result from other sources than modern 13. Yeah, carbon 14 mastermind. Yeah. Okay. Does not consider carbon 13 style could be result from Earth. Could result from source other than the modern foreseen. Okay, yeah, okay, cool, yeah. So this one talk about how it could be from other sources like the environmental condition. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, let me go real quick right now since the timer is off. But basically, A, B, D. A is incorrect because it really didn't talk about the it doesn't mention it pretty much. Premature try to determine however that's incorrect. Puzzling measure. It doesn't mention this, so basically, C sound the best, and it also talked about this really what hits, I think, but I hesitated a little bit on some of this, so which is not good, and that took like what 1 minute 10, yeah. Um, I guess it makes sense for me to hesitate on question like this to take like what a minute or so, but I'm really trying to cut it down to at least like 45 seconds. So yeah, I'll end the video right now. But thinking back on these like questions that I answered, like the one I went for like 0 for 3, I guess. Question like those, I guess, is really, I guess, there's some things that I could have done better. I definitely, but yeah, I'll discuss that later. Yeah, stop. I'll stop from keeping it going any further, but yeah, from how I see things, it is fine. All right.